Alright guys, welcome back to Project 300, coffee number 4. Alex, Steffan. Alex, tell us what you do.
Thanks for having me, Ace. I am a town planner specialising in development assessment.
Perfect. What's your business?
SteffanHarries. We only service Queensland. We're based in Stones Corner, but we cannot help you outside of Queensland or on the Gold Coast. We don't mess with the Gold Coast.
Okay. Nice and easy. And what's your coffee brew?
Oh, coffee brew.
Coffee brew.
I have no idea. Whatever is coming out of the machine.
Yep.
In whatever format, so long as there's milk involved.
Not long black.
Not a long black.
Sugar?
But no sugar, just
no
straight
sugar.
up.
Okay.
There's enough. I think Bill DeBella do a presentation many years ago. It was like, if you're having sugar in your coffee, then the coffee's not good enough.
So, Alex, tell me, what's an average day in the life of Alex Steffan?
Get up at 6:30. I've got 2 young kids, so usually I'm up at 6:30 because the youngest 1.5-year-old is getting me up.
Yes.
So then I'll do the routine with her, get breakfast going by 7 o'clock. Breakfast is done, kitchen's clean. Get my other daughter up, who's 5.5. Everyone gets breakfast, and then we have sitting time. We eat breakfast, and we can maybe watch TV, but we just sit down. And then at 8 o'clock, go time. Everyone goes to school or gets ready for school, gets ready for work.
And are you in the office most days?
Yep. We work 4 days from the office, 1 day from home. But you know, being the boss, there's a bit more flexibility for what I have to do. So usually I'll be at work by about 9 o'clock. Work all day, a lot of meetings, unfortunately, in what I do, and then after school care every day. So pickups at 5 o'clock, home, and then the same nighttime routine is kind of sit, make dinner, get the whole thing going. I think with that routine, my life would absolutely fall apart.
So, what's one belief you had about running a business before you started running a business that's turned out to be completely incorrect?
Easily the classic, like, I'll start my own business so I can work less and make more, and then immediately realize that I'm working way more with way more overheads, way more responsibility. And it's just so complicated these days. I mean, I started my business in 2008 when it really was like you had to have a good ad in the yellow pages, go hand your business cards out, and you get work. Nowadays, it's like you have to have social media, you have to have a really good, well-built website, you have to do networking, you have to know a lot of people, you have to do presentations and all of these things. And I feel like at the start, I thought I wouldn't have to do any of that because I'm the boss. And now I'm realizing I have to do all of that, plus all the accounting, plus paying all the bills. And I see people just rock up at our work, just who, you know, aren't a business owner, and they clock on at 9 o'clock and they clock off at 4:30.
Different mentality.
And they're just wait for the money to come in, and they just do not think about work outside of those hours.
Yep. Alex, I've known you for many years.
Unfortunately.
If someone was to shadow you for a day, what's one thing that would really surprise them about your day?
I think my average day would give most people a panic attack, my wife included, who see what I do on an average day and are like, how on earth can this many things happen in one person's day without them dying? And yeah, I think that would really surprise people. Just like, I probably send 100 high-value emails every day, probably minimum. I run 4 different businesses, so I might be making a Plinko ball game in the morning for a digital marketing agency, fixing someone's SEO, lodging a development application for a 50-lot subdivision, having a negotiation with the stormwater engineer at council and arguing, you know, details about the urban drainage manual that maybe they don't even know, and then having 4 or 5 meetings with people who are, you know, what I say will make or break their entire livelihood, potentially. And then my wife also runs her own business, so it's not like she just goes to work and comes home and relaxes. She's got no maternity leave, I've got no, you know, paternity leave, so yeah, it's pretty full on.
I was pondering what this could possibly be in your shoes. What's the wildest way you've ever landed a client or closed a deal?
Oh, wow. The wildest way I've ever... I don't know. I think we get, in the town planning world, Brisbane's a very small place. So there's a lot of people who will be using us, and most of the time something will happen with like one of the consultants that has nothing to do with us, but like burns their experience with us because they've had a bad experience with the engineer or the ecologist or someone. A year later, they're back in our inbox being like, hey, can you quote us on this job? So that happens a lot, and it always surprises me how often it happens where someone will be using us and then something will happen, they'll go use someone else, and then sure enough, a year later, they're back with us.
So Alex, for those that don't follow Alex Steffan on LinkedIn, I think it's definitely worth doing and quite entertaining at times.
Thank you, yes. I wouldn't even say I'm outspoken on LinkedIn. I would just say that I just post stuff that people should be posting. And because I am a young-ish business owner, I have the ability to do it without any consequence. And I don't do work for the government. I have no government contracts. I don't want them because that means I probably won't be talking about what actually happens in the town planning world. So, but yeah, every post I do, I get a job out of it.
If we take away the world of Instagram, the world of social media, what does success look like to you? When does Alex know that, you know what, my life and my business was a huge success?
I think just having ultimate financial freedom, which, you know, I know that sounds really cliche and that's probably what everyone's going to say, but it's true. The day that I don't have to worry about spending money, that's the day that I'll feel ultimately successful. That it's like, you know what, I'm just going to go on a 6-month holiday and I got plenty of money. Like, where do you want to go? Doesn't matter because we can afford it. You know, obviously not. I don't want to, like, I'm not a silly person. I'm not a materialistic person. So like, I don't want to like go to Italy and stay in a villa that's $10,000 a night. Like, I'm talking about just like going to Bali for a week and staying at a semi-nice place and not
worrying about dinner, not worrying about breakfast.
Not having to be like, oh, let's not have that cocktail because we can't afford it. It's just like, no, you want the cocktail, buy it. Who cares? Like, we've got enough money. So that ultimately is the goal. You know, and I feel like I'm not too far away from that. And
brilliant. That's great. There's a lot of trends that go on in every industry, and I'm sure town planning and all your other businesses is flooded with different trends.
Yeah.
What's one bit of noise or one trend that you think is hyper overrated?
I think AI is pretty overrated.
That's surprising because you're very heavy in the AI space. I'm
very heavy in the AI space, but I think people who don't understand it have a misconception of what it's going to do and what it does. And the easiest example is you see a lot of government agencies right now like going hard on AI. Like, all it's going to do, it's going to come and go. And the easiest example I have of the exact same situation, maybe 5-10 years ago, it was big data. Do you remember big data?
I remember big data, yep.
So big data was like massive. Everyone was like, every business plan was like, we're going to be integrating big data. We're going to be using big data. So I feel like AI is kind of there, and people who will take advantage of it are, you know, are smart younger people who sit on the side, who are going to be like making bulk coin out of doing these processes and streamlining their business, when all these bigger businesses and government agencies are spending millions of dollars achieving nothing. So I think it's very overhyped. But, you know, like with big data, there will be a time at which it does become valuable, and you see it now with like the ATO and data matching.
Yes.
So like stuff that they did 10 years ago is now starting to, they could start to get paid from that. So, you know, there's definitely a place, but right now AI is so overhyped, and I see, especially in town planning, like government spending 100 grand on an AI bot that anyone with half a brain can replicate in about an hour and a half of playing around GPT, and it's like, that is overhyped.
Big money.
Yeah, big money for nothing.
Alex SteffanHarries, how can people reach out to you?
Google me. Alex Steffan, spelt like the hairdresser but with 2 Fs.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.